Let's read Chapter 5. Who's Marianne Unkenose? Asked Josh. I wonder if she is related to Pete, Dink said. I think Marianne is a man's name. Mrs. McClure said. The female Marianne has an A instead of an O. Ruth glanced at the monitor again. The reporter who wrote the story is Susan Green. Maybe she knows this Marianne Unkenose. Could we call her? Mrs. McElroy picked her phone and dialed information. She asked for the Coast Press and Penobscot, wrote down the number, and handed the phone to Ruth Rose. Ruth Rose punched in the number, then listened. A second later, she asked to speak to Susan Green. After a pause, she said, Well, is there anyone else who can tell me anything about Marianne Unkenose? Your paper reported that he stole a van. Ruth waited and then listened to someone else. It is, she said. Oh, well, thank you. Ruth handed the telephone back to Mrs. McClory. Susan Green moved to California, she said, but I spoke with another reporter. He remembered the stolen van because his sister works in Sugar's bakery. Did you find out if Pete is related to Marianne? Josh asked. Ruth nodded. Pete is Marianne, she said. Huh? Said Josh. The reporter said the thief's full name is Marianne Peter Unkenose. Ruth said. I guess he goes by Pete. Dink just blinked at the news. He felt numb. Could it be a different Pete Unkenose? He asked. Josh grinned. Yeah, like there are a bunch of Unkenose running around in that place in Maine. I'm sorry you had to get this bad news, Mrs. McClure said. She took her purse from a drawer. You're welcome to stay, but I have to get some lunch now. Us too, Josh said. He looked at Dink and Ruth first. Okay, Dink said. I don't know what else we can do. Well, I have an idea, Ruth said. The kids thanked Mrs. McClory and left the library. Does your idea have anything to do with lunch? Josh asked Ruth Rose. I'm so hungry I could eat a spider. Ruth Rose headed down to West Green Street. Dink and Josh shrugged, then followed her across Main Street. Where are we going? Dink asked. To the river, Ruth Rose said, heading past the empty baseball field. I want to check out Pete's trailer. Why? Asked Josh. Because I don't believe Pete is the thief that would steal someone's van for a joyride, Ruth said. But you just told us that reporter said Pete did it, Josh said. Ruth shook her head. I just have a feeling that has to be some other explanation, she said. I guess I agree, Dick said. It almost seems like Pete is two different persons. The kids followed the sunny path toward the river. In a clearing, they saw picnic tables and fireplaces. Only one campsite was occupied. Under a tree was a small white trailer, the kind that you pull behind a truck or a car. A few yards away, the Indian River sparkled in the sunlight. Cool trailer, Josh whispered. It would be fun to sleep here. You could fish from your bed. 3 aluminum steps led up to a door. Under a window was a lawn chair. A red and blue flannel chair was draped over its back. The spot was quiet except for bird calls and squirrels scampering in the leaves. Josh picked up the shirt, then put it back on the chair. How do you know if this is Pete's trailer? He asked. Dink walked around the trailer. I think it is, he said. Look at this. Josh and Redford followed him. Dink pointed to the license plate. It was from Maine. Josh walked up the steps and rapped on the door. Anybody home? He called. When no one answered, he tried the doorknob. Locked, he said. Dink stood on the lawn chair and tried to look through the window next to the door. There's a curtain, he said. Redford walked over to the picnic table. There was a trash barrel and a small stone fireplace with a griddle for cooking. A long-handled fork was resting on the edge of the fireplace. Ruth picked up the fork and poked at the stuff in the trash barrel. Hungry? Josh cried, walking toward her with Tink. Ruth stuck the fork into a small box and pulled it out of the barrel. On the side of the box was a picture of a man sneezing. Below the picture were the words Allergreen, fast relief from grass allergies. And that is the end of chapter 5. See you later with chapter 6. Bye!